Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody in the building? Listen, welcome to Confidence Factor Talks. My name is Rudy LaRose, and guess what?
Rudy LaRose in the building.
That's right. I'm in the building today because today, I got a VIP in the building that I cannot wait for you guys to meet. Just like every Tuesday, y'all already know every Tuesday we in the building, baby. And we here tonight. So if you're watching this for the first time, welcome. If you are here on occasion, all the time, you're supporting your brothers, you're supporting your sisters. You know what? It's Saturday weekend, baby. And guess what? Man, we got some entrepreneurs that's been giving us tremendous value. I can't wait to have this conversation tonight. Do me a favor while you're watching. I need you to do me a huge favor. I need you to first of all go to www.streamyard.com/Facebook. That's right. Go to y'all see that? That's streamyard.com/Facebook, and make sure you add StreamYard to your Facebook so that we know who's commenting. Very, very, very important. And on top of that, if you're watching the replay, be sure in the comment section to put in hashtag replay so that we know you are watching the replay on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, MySpace, you know what I'm saying? High five, you know what I mean? AIM, I don't know what else, man. What else we got out there? I don't know, man. And of course, if you're feeling what we're saying, if what you're hearing is resonating with you, if you like, you know what, man, what you guys just said, what your guest just said, man, that just hit me in the right spot. Put in hashtag heart level. All right, hashtag heart level. We'll explain later on what that means. But I'm excited to be coming into this building with my brothers on the corner right here, weighing 200 million pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Bobby P in the building.
Building, baby. What's going on? Today is a great day, and it is the best day of my life, man. I can't do nothing with yesterday. Tomorrow ain't even promised. And all we have is now, so I'm going to live in the moment. Appreciate you guys here, man. Back over to you, Rude.
Man, welcome. And of course, we have none other than the professor, the island man himself, the inner jerk thief. What is that? Bun and cheese. No, not bun and cheese. Never mind, bro. Make some noise for Derry, the professor, in the building, man. What's going on, brother?
Hey, you forgot the bush tea. Man.
Wait, what's that? Wait a minute. What are you saying?
It's all the good stuff we here to give the people tonight. That's the bush tea, right? All right.
The bush tea? The bush tea?
It's all the bush tea.
Bush tea, okay. Got you. Now I hear you.
Oh, man. Hey, listen, fellas. I'm glad to be back with you guys here on a Tuesday night. Just to drop some wisdom, some knowledge for this amazing community that we've put together. And tonight, we're talking about the 3 profit-driven strategies to win the money game. Listen, we know this is a conversation that everybody needs to be enrolled into. This is going to be a powerful conversation. If you want to learn how to win at the money game, if you want to learn the rules of the money game, the strategy so that you can win, then this is the conversation you want to join in. So you want to go ahead and share this conversation with your colleagues, your other entrepreneurs, other associates that you know. We have an amazing guest that we're bringing on tonight. As you know, we're here in Confidence Factor, and tonight is Confidence Factor Talk, where we have heart-level conversations that lead to your transformation. So it's going to be another fire show tonight. Welcome. You guys who are coming on board. Be sure to put hashtag heart level. Let us know who you are. We'd love to acknowledge you. Share with us the nuggets that you're learning from the show. We'd love to acknowledge you. We'd love to celebrate you. Here in this community, we celebrate entrepreneur-minded men. Our goal and our mission is to empower the lives of over 5 million men to do what? To be able to pursue their passion and unleash their riches. And when we talk about riches in this community, we're not just talking about monetary riches. We're talking about relationships. Yes, we're talking about income. We're talking about contribution to community. We're talking about the health, right? Which is your greatest wealth. We're talking about the education, investing in yourself, right? And of course, the baseline of all success and fulfillment, which is your spirituality. So, we have a full curriculum of riches here in this community, and we come in every Tuesday to talk about, amazing things, right? But, we talk about things related to our SMART principles. Number one, we have conversations about self-mastery, right? Understanding who you are as a person. How do you evolve? How do you grow? How do you up-level yourself? Is by first mastering self, right? Mastering self. And once you have self-mastery, then you need to have a community, right? We are a community of men to support each other, to grow, and we hold each other's arms. We have, we check in with each other. We make sure that, hey, that we don't get caught by the lid. We call it the lid, right? As men are on their journey, whether they're entrepreneurs, whether they're professionals, whether you're up-leveling to next level of success in your life, guess what? We oftentimes face the lid. And you may be asking, Darren, what do you mean by the lid? Well, the lid is the enemy that we men fight, because oftentimes when things happen, what do? We isolate ourselves, right? We're lonely sometimes because we feel like we're the only ones going through it. So we isolate ourselves. And then, sometimes that feeling that we don't matter creeps in, and sometimes guys check out. So we want to be able to defeat the lid by having heart level conversations and having accountability with each other. And last but not least, of course, resources and tools, right? For us to be able to build a sound life, to be able to build a business, to be able to build anything in life, we have to have the resources and the tools. That's the knowledge, the education, the resources, the information. And so we bring on guests every Tuesday to share knowledge with our guests, experts, people in the community, to just learn about how they can level up their life. So I'm excited for another conversation, because this is about winning at the money game. And here's the thing, fellas, one of the things that I came to the realization recently, and I want us to have a quick conversation about this, is I think in society, especially here in the Western world, there's this notion that oftentimes our self-worth is attached to our net worth, right? Our self-worth as an individual is attached to our net worth. And oftentimes we deal with ourselves, we have our inner agreements that's how it is, and then other people reflect back to us the truth of that statement. So what do you guys think, man? Do you guys think that's true for in what you guys have observed?
Yeah, man. I know for me, man, wow. Definitely playing what we call that outside game, right? And a lot of times this is what men do. We play an outside game on an inside world instead of playing an inside game in an outside world. That's right. I know for me, I take myself back to, before the last market crash, and that was exactly the case. You buy, new Escalade, and Rudy will tell you, right? Rudy recommended some dude to me, and I loaded the car up, man. I had TV.
Loaded, baby, loaded. You heard him coming down the street, bro. Loaded,
man. Like I had everything. You got the Rolex watches, the rings, the suits, and you got all these things, the houses, the cars. You think you're on top of the world, bro. And that's not the case, because 2008 hit just like everybody else. I felt like the rug got pulled from under me. Now, listen, the lady on the phone with me, Darren, hit me. This real life, bro. Lady, Mr. Jenkins, no, don't give us back the truck. We can refinance it. Keep it. I said, look, lady, it ain't the payment that's bugging me. Gas is $4. I'm putting $100 in every 5 days. Like, that's not the issue. You know what I'm saying?
That's hard level right there, man. That's
that's real talk, right? And so now the houses are gone, the cars are gone. You're losing. That feeling of loss. You feel like you're losing everything, bro. That's how I felt, bro. I felt like I was no good to nobody, Darren. To the point where you contemplate things, right? Going a step further. Hey, they'd be better off without me. I'm in the way. Right? You understand? And so that's the burden that I faced of carrying my worth through outside things. Oh, come on, man. Look, hey, we ain't gonna go. Okay, let me back out, because I think you're just asking a surface question, and I think I'm in the deep end of the pool too quick, and we going too fast, right? So
you get it.
Anyway, we flip it, right? And so now, man, I'm learning, hey, man, you talked about self-mastery, like that's real. Right, digging in and figure out, like, why did you put your worth on the car, and like, why did you make those? Like, I had to sit down and ponder, think about it, rethink. Right, what the hell are you thinking, bro? We got to rethink this. And so now you fast forward, and now I understand. I say, okay, you weren't aware. you weren't aware. You were playing the game, but it's not the right game.
You ain't know what you didn't know.
Come on now.
And it's funny you said that, Bobby, because you talk about we're all playing a game of life. And the game that we're playing, I remember a coach said the game of life that we're playing is the game with ourselves. And so there's these rules there, and of course Vishnu from Mind Valley says the rules, right? He calls them bullshit rules. There's some bullshit rules that we've lived by that has caused us to be in a lot of situations that we're in. And so we're talking about the money game tonight. And of course, you got to understand the rules. If you're going to win in any game, whether it's a video game or if you're going to play the game of life or the money game or the self game, you got to understand what the rules and then play those rules, right? Follow those rules to win the game. And so oftentimes we're following these rules, right? And end up in situations that we emotionally get checked out, right? Sometimes we financially get checked out. Sometimes the things that we think that we want in life, when we arrive at those things, you realize there's no fulfillment in it. And so you thought you were playing the game that everybody told you should be playing. And then you arrive at something and you still have emptiness. And so the game that we're playing here in this community, as you, Bobby, you already know, Rudy, you already know, is not just about only success. We also want to have a sense of fulfillment. We want to know that when we arrive at the things, the goals, anything that we want to attain, that we feel fulfilled in it. So we're defining a new game. We're playing a new game in this community, not just only success as a man, but also fulfillment in that success. Very, very critical. Yeah.
You know what's what I love about this conversation is I'm reading this book right now called The Ultimate Coach, and this Bible, and one of the things that he this guy did is like, there's always this sense of what's normal, and then there's a sense of, well, are you gonna accept that, right? So for example, he'll go to a guy and say, I want first class. Do you have any first class available? Normally people wouldn't ask that, right? Because what's normal is that you got to pay for first class. But guess what? If you don't ask, it's not going to happen. So he'd go places and be like, can I get first class? Can I get VIP? Can I do this? Can I do that? And people would just give it to him because he asked. That's and right. What that reminds me of is that when you know yourself, when you're confident in who you are and you show up in a certain way, people feel that and they understand that it's not about being cocky or anything like that. But it's understanding the value that you bring into the world and understanding the value that you have for yourself, so that when you show up, not only you're paving the way for the things that you want out of life, but even people that are with you, like, man, how did he do that? Well, I asked. I simply asked, but I was able to ask because I understood the value in it all, and I think that's such a critical point there, Darren.
Absolutely. So I want to ask you, I want to ask the listening audience, like, really evaluate, are you placing your self-worth on your net worth? And I had this conversation with my wife the other day. She said, I don't think women actually place it on, on monetary things. Maybe guys do that. But then, I said, well, for women, maybe it's a status. Maybe it's your position in society. How do you stack up against the other lady? Are you competing against another woman? And that's where your value lies. So we have to evaluate to make sure that, as Bobby says, we're living, right, an inside. How do you say, Bobby?
We make sure we're playing an inside game on an outside world.
Outside world. Making sure that you're taking care of self-mastery, right? That you understand that you are the cause, you are the creator, and the things you create don't create your value. Imagine that we're playing this game where the things we created, the things we acquire, is giving us value. But if we if we didn't show up tomorrow, right? If we didn't show up tomorrow with our energy, with our gifts, with our talents, with our wisdom, with our sweat equity, those things would not exist. So how is it that we're going through life thinking that that's the stuff that gives our life value? That's crazy, right? That's absurd how we live that way. But that's one of the rules that we live by. So I want the listening audience to evaluate your life and think about your situation and think, are you looking at your self-worth, right? Based on the things that you have. And I'm telling you right now, if you're living that way, right, there's going to be a refinement. There's going to be the need for you to really kind of check the way you're thinking and how you're operating so you can live life fulfilled. And that's what we're here for. Anyway, so listen, we're talking about the money game. We're talking about
money game,
right? And so there is a way that we can show up to be able to create more money, attract more money, have strategies, but it's a game that we play. And we're saying it's an inside game, but we have a guest that's going to share with us some additional strategies as well to be able to win at the money game. I'm excited for this conversation. So we're at 6:45. Rudy, I don't know if you want to go ahead and bring the guest on right now, because man, I'm fired up.
Man, I don't know if they're ready for this firehouse, man. I don't know if they're ready. I see her in the background. She's fired up. She's ready to go. Let me tell you a little bit about this lady. This young lady, I met her years ago, and let me tell you, you know when you meet someone that is of tremendous value in your life by the way that they show up, right? Not only that by the way that they show up, but by their consistency. And I've seen her consistency over and over and over and over again over the years, not only as a business owner, but as an entrepreneur, as a bad woman of business and money and finance. And I've seen her grow. And it's interesting to me, the conversations that her and I have in the background. I tell her all the time, I say, listen, we just need to be on a show, because a lot of times we'll talk about stuff and people don't realize, as an entrepreneur, even though she's a money lady, she deals with it too. I mean, Tasha Chen talks about it all the time. Just because I teach this stuff, it doesn't mean I don't need it. It's because I need it is the reason why I'm passionate about it. And it's because she understands money, she understands finances, she understands the growth mindset that's necessary to take you from a young woman from the streets, well, not the streets, but from Port-au-Prince, from Haiti, young woman from Haiti, all the way to the United States of America. And she's here today with us, man, to give us some tremendous value. And I couldn't be more excited to have. I can't really call her my auntie because she ain't old enough to be my auntie. So she got to be my big sis, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Derline Pierre-Louis in the building, indeed. In the building. What's going on?
Hot level.
I'll send you the check later, okay?
How are you, my dear?
Good evening, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are awesome. Awesome.
Thank you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Oh my God. Whew. Rudy, that was a nice intro.
Thank you, my dear. Nice Welcome to the man cave. You know, once in a while we bring the ladies in.
I feel so honored.
Don't happen very often, but once in a while we saw a few ladies trying to come in like, no, you can't. Listen, you can look from the outside. You could, peek into the window, but no, you can't come in the man cave.
But you know what? I respect that, because as women, if you're in a relationship, you run the whole entire house. Usually the guys just have not even the master bedroom. They might have half of a closet because your shoes.
Yep. No. We don't get no closet. We get a little cubby hole with a little lock on it. A little.
In the garage.
You guys get a little flashlight. See what's happening in your closet. Where's that
shirt? Bobby.
Oh man. I'm so excited to have you today, Derline, because like I said, I've watched you grow and continue to grow in your community and provide tremendous resources to your community, radio, advertising, events. I mean, there's not a place that Boynton Beach doesn't have. There's not a thing Boynton Beach doesn't have. You're not a part of a resource for the community. And so I want to thank you for that. And one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show is really to talk about your life, your journey from where you've been to where you are today. And as importantly, to talk about how us as men can listen to the wisdom of the women that are involved in finance and are involved in money. Because here's what I know. There's two things about money that sometimes I didn't even understand until I got older, is that there's two sides of money. There's the paper aspect of it, right? What we see, it's like, paper. Hey, listen. It's called options. You know what I'm saying? We got options here, right? There's the paper aspect, which most people are that's what they see. But there's the energy behind it, right? There's this thing behind it where you don't see. And so a lot of times when you and I have conversations, that's what we talk about. There's the wealth mindset that you talk about a lot. And so we're going to talk about all that stuff later on the show. But I want to talk about Derline. Who is Derline?
Well, thank you. Everybody's favorite radio station is WIIFM.
Mm-hmm.
What's in it for me?
Mm-hmm.
So on my show, Mind Your Business, I interview entrepreneurs and business owners, and I give them an opportunity to talk about WIIFM. And so now I have an opportunity to be on my soapbox, huh?
That's right. It's all yours.
So as Rudy mentioned, my name is Derline Pierre-Louis, but I was born Derline Beauplan, which means beautiful plant, as I am.
I didn't know that.
Listen, I'm not shy. I don't think low self-esteem exists in any inch of my body or cell or anything. But believe it or not, I wasn't always this upfront and outgoing person. I was always behind the scenes doing a lot of things. And so how Rudy and I met, I don't even remember. It's been how many decades? Wow.
It's been a while.
Wow.
It's been a while. Mm-hmm.
Rudy's specialty is IT. My specialty is money and business and being a woman and taking care of my family, but IT is not part of it. And I have a couple of friends and team members and office staff that are here, and they'll tell you, yeah. But what about me? I am one of 5 children.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been strong-headed. My mother said I taught her how to be a parent.
Wow. We're going to have to talk about that in a minute. Wow.
I don't know what no means.
Mm-hmm.
I need explanation as to what me. It just, I know the way I wanted to tell you about myself is not the route it's going, but let's be real here,
okay.
Right? We're at what level, right?
What level?
Yes.
It doesn't make sense to me why my mom would be in the kitchen 3 steps away from the fridge and call me from the back room to come get something out of the fridge. My other 4 siblings would be, okay, mommy, I'm coming. Me, I'm like, why? You're right there. And being from the island and Haitian, that's a good combination.
That's a no-no.
So we're going to leave that there.
Mm-hmm.
But over the years, her and I have had some heart-to-heart, and she's like, oh my God, you are so difficult. And I said, it wasn't on purpose. I just needed to, my brain was different. I needed to understand why you wanted me to do things. And I'll do them just as long as you give me an explanation, Explain to me why you want me to leave what I'm doing to come all the way to the kitchen when you're 3 steps away. So that's the way I run my business too. So I make it simple for our clients to give us the information we need so that their life could be simple. And sometimes I meet clients that say, listen, I don't even want to know all the details. Just tell me how to make the money and let's call it a day. Because I'm very detailed oriented and sometimes I give too much information. So I started doing bookkeeping and accounting work since I was like 8, 9 years old, because my mother, when she was in Haiti, had a restaurant. She had an embroidery school. She taught girls whose parents could not afford to send them to school. So they would send them from the countryside to Port-au-Prince to work in people's houses. And so she was always inspiring them to say, listen, this is what you have to do because your family can't afford things, but you can learn a skill, you can learn a trade. So she would teach them at night how to crochet, how to do embroidery. And so she had her restaurant going when she moved here, no English. So she was starting from scratch. But my mother is such a hustler. I think she created the word, okay? Listen, she had a daycare, 5, 7, 8 kids, no daycare license, okay, in the house. She was cooking for men, who come from the island, whose wives are not here. She was cooking for them. You remember those container things that had the 4 different containers? So she was,
oh my gosh, the metal ones. Oh my gosh.
There's the metal ones, there's some plastic ones. So she would give them their breakfast in the bottom 2 and then lunch on top. some rice and beans and chicken or whatever, legume, whatever she made. So she had that business going. So this is 2 businesses already. And then she would clean houses. So where she really propelled was in the cleaning. And so she did that for 30 years. And I was managing the books. I was writing checks. And I didn't know how to do half these things. But remember, I told you guys, I don't know what no means. And if I don't know something, I go to the source. So we would go to the bank and I would sit with the banker and I would say, this checkbook is not matching what you have in the bank. How do I do this? Back then, they used to show you. And that's how I learned. I learned through bankers, and then my teacher. Oh my God, Mr. Ivy in 5th grade. Never.
Shout out to Mr. Ivy in 5th grade. Shout out to Mr. Ivy.
5th grade math. Because when I came to the United States at 8, because of my age, I was in the 3rd grade. But for math, I was in 5th grade. So I was an 8-year-old with some 10, 11-year-olds, But Mr. Ivy, that I liked numbers and I liked money. I like to know how things work. So I would bring him my mom's checkbook and said, this isn't working. And so he would show me how to balance it. And guess what I started doing? Showing my sisters, showing others. So I've always been a teacher by nature. So anything I learn, I feel is not for me to keep for myself. It's for me to share with others. And so that's why my business is the way it is. That's why you and I can have long conversations about all sorts of different topics, because I like money.
You like money and you like to learn. You know what I got from your one thing you said, and I wrote this down. You said you like explanations. Well, guess what? Money and wealth has explanations. Yes. Right? There's a game, and a lot of times people don't understand that there is an explanation why, quote unquote, the rich get richer, why there's certain ways, there's tax loops, there's all these different ways to be able to grow not only your business, but even from a personal standpoint, whether it's credit, whether it's like you said, balancing your checkbook, whether it's knowing how to use a credit card properly.
Listen, I love the credit card game, right?
Right.
I absolutely love it.
And so just like you said, these things have explanations. And I think a lot of times if we don't allow ourselves to learn how to be able to maneuver through those things, we can't blame the system when the system is available. Now, I'm not saying the system's all the way there, but I'm saying it's available. And if you only take the time to learn it and even connect with somebody like you, man, I can imagine how much further you can get faster as a business owner, or even in your own personal finances. How do you define for me money and wealth? What does that mean to you personally?
Back in the days, we used to trade an ox for sheep or for butter or for cheese. To me, that's what I see money is. I'm trading this cash, or I'm using this credit card, which is other people's money, which I love, for a service that I have a need for, or for an object that I want to purchase. Wealth is building something that is beyond you. Money is a tool. You use the money to go from point A to point B, like we do with our cars. You need the money to get food on the table, to have a roof over your head. But wealth is beyond that. Wealth is leaving a legacy. Wealth is making your money work for you. It's like the what is it? The golden goose, the goose that lays the golden eggs. Yep. You don't kill the goose, because you use the eggs. You either sell the eggs, you invest the eggs, and they keep producing more baby eggs, more baby eggs, more baby eggs. That's wealth.
And I like to also see it as providing some kind of value too, because I was listening to this guy. He was talking about how he used to go. These neighbors were on a golf course, and the golf course used to have the golf balls come to their backyards all the time. So what this kid did, he said he knocked on everybody's door and said, "Hey, listen, I'll pick up the golf balls from the back of your yard for free." And they're like, "Sure, just, come pick it up." So they would pick up the golf balls from the backyard, and they would turn around and sell the golf balls.
I love this kid already. I knew where that was going.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, sometimes Here's the thing. I hear a lot of sayings about money that is not true. Like it takes money to make money.
No,
That's not true.
no,
That is not true. Or, the ones that have money are the smartest in the room. That's also not true.
no.
Or you have to come from a wealthy family in order to be somewhere in life. And
I've
so
heard that one.
talk to, talk to me, Darlene, in your journey when it comes to money. What are some of the things that you're finding, first of all, that is not true? And what are some things that you find that is true across the board, no matter where you come from or what spectrum you are in when it comes to money?
That I gotta work hard for it. I don't
Mm,
like to work hard. I don't like to work hard. And that money is a tool that separates, or that I'm trying to think of where I read this, but it says money is a tool that is used for evil, and it separates the have and the have-nots. I believe
mhm,
we all have access to this, like you're saying. We may not have been
mhm.
exposed to it because not everybody has a Mr. Ivy in fifth grade. And
Yeah,
they don't teach
yeah,
that in school anymore. That's why I'm working on getting a contract with the school district to teach this, because
right,
they don't teach
right,
kids how to manage money. Adults don't know how to manage money.
right, right.
And so, how can we pass it on to our kids when we don't know how to do it ourselves? And so,
Hmm.
I've heard, the rich use money to keep us poor or to keep us down. As long as we keep believing these, what is it, money falsies, I forgot what the term is. As long as we keep that in our mindset, we're not going to grow. We're not going to create the wealth that we deserve.
Right,
We're not
right.
we're not going to drive the car that we want. We're not going to live in the communities that we want. We're not going to put our kids in the schools that we want. Myths, thank you. These money myths.
Money myths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. If you're tuning in for the first time, you're watching Darlene Pierre-Louis from Economic Solution Services, aka the Wealth Whisperer. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm just gonna
I
give her that
like
name, okay?
that. Okay. That's the
Hey. And we're talking about three profit driven strategies to win at the money game. It is a game we're playing out there. When you pick up your money or your card, if you will, your debit card or whatever, there is a game out there. There is there's a system
book.
that is at play, and if you understand and you grow the system and allow it to work for you, you'll get further, faster, and stronger. And so, Darlene, let's talk about these three different profit-driven strategies that you talk about in your talks.
As an employee,
Hmm.
we get a salary of 50, 60, $75,000. We pay taxes. And then I want to say if there's anything left over, but there is a little few dollars left over, then we try
Hmm.
to budget on that, or we try to survive on that. So I've always encouraged people, you need to have a side hustle, even if you're a W-2 earner. What is a skill? What's a
That's
talent
good.
that you have? What is a passion? You like doing hair, you like doing makeup. People are always complimenting you on the way you have your outfits put together. Make that a business. Become a stylist. Become a makeup artist. And some of these skills and trades and businesses don't require a license. So
That's good.
yeah, it's just, yes, you have a job. It pays the bill, like I like to call just over broke. That's the acronym for
Yep.
job. And you have a
Yep.
side hustle, and you use that side hustle. Like I tell my tax clients, you can't write off your phone, your commute from home to work, your clothing, your lunch. So if you have your side hustle, you need your phone for your side hustle. Write off. You need your car for a write-off, right? To go communicate with your clients. Your internet at
Yep.
home. But listen, when my business was at home, I was looking pretty. I might come. I'm just saying, I might come back home.
Yep.
Major write-offs. There's so many deductions. But as an
Mhm.
employee, you're limited. You're restricted.
Mm. Mm.
The other one
So
is the
that's one of
mindset.
the strategies.
Yes,
The
the other one is
mindset. Okay.
We tapped onto that. I know Tasha Chin does a great job on that. There's several other people that I'm listening to and I'm reading on. That mindset is big. You work hard, you go to school, you work hard, and you retire. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. You're making somebody else rich. Yeah. You got to have your own business, and it doesn't have to be a big C corporation, S corporation. It could just be you do nails at home on the weekends. Right. The salons are charging $50. If you want to charge $40, that's on you. But I deserve the whole $50 that the salon is charging, so I'm going to charge $50. You know, because you're getting personalized treatment from me. Yep. You're not having to drive so far away, and you're not competing with anybody else because your hour that we booked together is your time. So yes, you can afford to charge $50. I don't care if you just started yesterday. So mindset. That's good. You deserve it. Start visualizing who you see yourself to be, because God created you to not be living in mediocrity. If we read our Bibles the way we should read the Bibles, everybody God uses is wealthy. Yeah. Yep. That's true. He didn't deal with any broke people. Everybody had wealth, and we need the wealth. We need the money to help others. So I have an issue with people that say, well, that's part of our myths, you know, the love of money is the root of all evil. And I swear to poverty. I don't swear to poverty. I like nice things. Wow. I don't. So I couldn't be a priest. I couldn't be Mother Teresa. I'm sorry. That's not in my DNA. And it also, what I've learned is also takes them off the hook of actually being all that they can be. Because if you are called to a certain part of helping other people, and you're not doing it because of quote unquote money aspect, then you just unemployed 100 people when your company could have been up there employing 100 people. Like, you just unemployed 100 people because you're not willing to step up. So mindset is a huge thing I think for all of us. What else? So know your numbers. That's a good one. We do not like to deal with our numbers. I have clients who do not open their bills, who don't look at their bank accounts. How can you make money work for you? How can you leave a legacy if you don't know what you need? If you don't know how much you have right now, how much do you need to have in order to retire? I know with the way I want to live, I need to have at least $3.5 million minimum to retire. And that's without all my other investments and other residual income, because I need to have at least 7 of those, minimum. And so if you don't know your numbers, like with business owners, how much is this business really costing you? I love my old place on Fulbright, but I had to leave it because the numbers don't lie. Yeah. I did the math of what was coming in and how much I was putting out. I'm like, wait a minute, my profit margin every year is shrinking. I'm like, well, that's not good. How can I tell people to do this when I myself am not doing it? Yep. Fix your numbers. Yep. Do you have debt? How much do you owe? Do you have money in the bank? Good. How much is in the bank? How much would you like to be making before the end of this year, before the end of this month, before the end of the quarter? And I break everything up by quarter. I guess it's the accounting in me.
It's all about the quarter, right?
All about the quarter. Projecting, all this is part of knowing the numbers. Projecting your goal, financial goal, work-and-life balance, because a lot of us make a lot of money and then we're not really enjoying it. We stay in nice communities with all these amenities. We're paying HOA fees, and we're not even using the gym. We're not using the sauna. We're not using, it's a lot. I'm trying to stay on topic here.
No, you good. You good.
One topic. One topic.
Yeah.
Numbers. Yeah.
Know your numbers.
I have a question before we get into specifics of numbers, because we know that, listen, money is emotional for a lot of people. And you heard me say in the beginning of the show that most people's self-worth is attached to the net worth. right? When I listen to you, there's clearly for you, you in yourself have a healthy relationship with self, which means that you have a healthy relationship with money.
Yes.
Because you understand that you are the creator of it, not it being defining you.
Yes.
So I heard you say something which is quite interesting, and I want to ask you why you think this is. You said that some people don't even open up their bills, right? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that people have this distant, fear?
Fear.
What are they afraid of? What are we afraid of?
They're afraid of the reality check, that they're really going to see that they've maxed out all 5 of their credit cards, and that the credit card limit was $10,000. Now you owe $15,000 because of interest and late fee and penalties. They don't want to see that. They figure out of sight, out of mind. But the reality is you still owe that $15,000, and it's only getting bigger and bigger. Same thing too with IRS. I empower my clients to talk to IRS. I put them on the call. I don't make the call for them. I put them on the call. Talk to the person. Give them permission if they need to ask specific questions about the return that you're not sure of. They can talk to me. But this is your account. This is your taxpayer identification number. This is your money. Talk to them. Once they get that power back, that fear is gone. It's dissolved.
Wow.
Right.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Go ahead, Bobby.
I just want to, because I just spoke to my people today, and I have to deal with the IRS, right? So she was like, "Go right into the office." I was like, "Hold on, wait a minute." I said, "Wait, what'd you just say?" She said, "Yeah, they got different locations. You can go right in the office and just talk." I said, "Hell, wait." I said, "We talking about the IRS. You want me to go into the office? You want me to go into the cave, right?" I thought about Joseph Campbell. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. I was like, damn, I hate that quote right now.
Ooh, I like that quote.
it has to be done, but it's the truth, right? It's the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Anyway, that's what comes to mind. Anyway, back.
And once you face that cave, once you go into that cave, you gain your power back.
Yeah.
You're giving your power away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think with the money game that we talk about, the aspect of understanding the power that you hold is really what helps you in the game to begin with. Because a lot of times I know for me in the past, I felt powerless when I didn't look at the numbers, when I didn't look at this, when I didn't look at that. I had a call the other day with a coach. They said one thing, I was like, wow, I didn't even think about it. They said for every technician you have in your business, every technician should be bringing you $17,000 a month in order for you to get to the level that you want to get to, in order to get to those numbers.
Yes.
Because it's easy for all of us to say, I want to be a millionaire, but what's the path? How are you getting to that? As a matter of fact, I did something one day. I said, who wants to be a millionaire? Everybody raised their hand. Great. How much money does it take for you to make every month for you to be a millionaire? Nobody knew.
You see
Nobody knew.
My office, right?
Yeah.
I have a tape.
Nobody knew.
It's the accounting in me. I have a tape. So I do consulting, business tax, individual tax, my radio show, my TV show. Every single one of them is supposed to bring me a certain amount of money. And then I divide the million by how many clients I need to get at this level, how many I need to bring in every week. I break it down. That's knowing the numbers. If I was at my office right now, I'd be able to give you the numbers. That's knowing the numbers. And then you know what? It inspires you. So let's say you need to bring in 17 clients this month. Today's only the 9th. 17 clients this month. How many calls do you need to make? That's the KPI? How many calls
KPI.
do you need? If you know every 20 calls you get one client, then that means 20%. So how many calls? Then make more calls, make 30 calls. My thing is, if I call you, Rudy, and I say, hey, Rudy, this is Derline. How you doing? I'm about to launch this program here. It's $7,500 for, within the next 2 weeks, you can put a down payment of $3,500. And I give you the value of what you're going to get from this. And you say no. Did I lose anything?
No.
Because I didn't have Rudy's $3,500 or $7,500. So Rudy says no. Next, move on.
Mhm. Yeah.
Next opportunity. I mean, there's so many different acronyms for no. You know, next opportunity is my favorite one.
Yeah. Yep. That's good.
I love
That's
it.
really good.
But we have to surround ourselves with like-minded people. I can't remember what this formula is. Rudy knows I read a lot of books, and sometimes they all blend in together. I don't know who the authors are. I just know the quotes. I know what they
That's
said.
okay.
But
Okay.
in our position, if we're earning $750,000, you want to have a few people that you're mentoring that are below that. A handful, not too many, because you don't want them dragging you down with their negativity and their naysayer and woe is me. I can't do this, I can't do that. But you want to be there so you can inspire them because someone inspired you.
Right.
And then you want to be with the even bigger percentage of people who are in your same 650, 700, 750, up to $950,000 earning bracket. And then you want to be with the ones who inspire you to make that 1.5 million, 2 million, 3 million. I wish I remember what the percentage are, but
You talk about me?
so let's say for argument's sake, everything has to add up to 100. So 15% have to be below your 750 earning. 45% are at your level, right? So we got 15, 45, that's what, 60? And then the other 20, your aspiration. You talk to them, you take them out to lunch, you pay for an hour consult with them, pick their brain. I don't like to work hard. Did I say that already?
You did.
Someone can teach me a step that would eliminate 3-4 steps that I usually take to do something. You know how many seconds, how many minutes, how many dollars that saved me?
Money loves speed.
Listen, success leaves clues. These people already succeeded.
Yeah.
They already reached their 2.5 million or 5 million. They're billion. They're heading for the billions. And if they're giving an advice and you've checked them out, now do our due diligence. A lot of us are following a lot of people who are telling us to do a lot of crazy things, and we're cuffing up all this money, which is another reason why we have a bad relationship with money too. Is people who take us for granted, or they promise to deliver a service and they take your money and they don't deliver. And so depending on how your relationship is with money, you're not going to confront them. You're not going to call them out on their contract that they made you sign. And so we have to work on all that. And all that is part of mindset. And Tasha does a good job on that. So we're going to leave that arena for her.
So Derline, you shared something, and I want us to underscore that because that was tremendous value. Okay, the overarching concept is who you surround yourself with, the environments that you're in, and you broke it down. I love how you just massively broke down the numbers. Can you break that down again, please? Like the percentage of people that needs to be below, the percentage of people that you're at your level, and the percentage of people at the top. Can you break that down again for us?
So this is not the exact formula. I don't remember what book I read this in, but for argument's sake, it all adds up to 100%. So if you're earning 750, and it doesn't have to be earning, if you are an accountant, if you are an IT specialist, if you are a coach, you're a consultant, you want to be around people that are like-minded, that are doing the same thing you're doing. But within the bracket, like for example, with money, because that's my thing. So if I'm earning 750, I can be around somebody who's earning 700, 650, and then I can be around somebody earning 800, 850, 900, 950, okay? Because I'm at the 750, there's still room for me within my group, my core group, to grow. But I also need to inspire others who are not in my core group. So the earners of less than 750. So the ones who are earning 400, 300. And I'm going to finish this and I'm going to say something Rudy said to me that just came to mind. So that percentage is about 15%. That's just my numbers. That's not what's in the book, but just for argument's sake. So 15%. And then in your bracket between 650 to 950 is 45. So that gives you what? 50, 60, right? Then 20%. So your aspiration, your goal has to be higher than the people you're mentoring. Because if you're giving more, it's like when you give of yourself. If you give too much of yourself, if you're not sleeping enough, if you're not taking care of yourself and you're giving too much of yourself, then you're going to be drained. So you have to have your aspiration, people you look up to, to that percentage to be higher than the people who you're giving to. And then, of course, the people that are at your level, even with a disparity of 50,000, 75,000, 25,000, you have wiggle room. So Rudy said to me, I don't know how many times, why are you waiting to launch this book? Why are you waiting to start this course? Why are you waiting to do this? Why are you waiting to that? He's like, picture yourself in a basement. 8 steps. You remember that? There's 8 steps to get to the door.
The basement theory.
The house, right?
Yep.
I was on the bottom floor of the basement. I made it to the 3rd step. So there's people who are still on the bottom floor of that basement that could use the strategies and the skills that I learned to get me from the bottom floor to the 3rd step.
Yep.
And then there are people like Bobby, who's probably on the 7th step, that I'm looking up to that can help me get there. So Bobby's passing on to me, telling me, hey, this is what I had to do. I tiptoed and I stepped on the right foot first, then the left foot. I'm very childish, so. But he kept saying, you're waiting till you reach the door. Yep. And these people in the meantime are suffering. They're struggling.
Yep.
And every so often, when I want to launch this book that I've started, when I want to launch this course, listen, I'm having a meeting tomorrow in my office with somebody that's going to help me with the curriculum and everything.
There you go. Chat GPT, man. Chat GPT.
I listen. I just have to implement it.
All right.
I have information that somebody else doesn't know that I am taking for granted, thinking everybody knows, but they don't. Basic little things like open your bills. If you don't know how to use the computer, take a notebook, write down who you owe, what's the total amount, what's the due date, organize them in due date. I wish I was in my office because I have an organizer to show you that I'm not just preaching something, I'm doing this. This is what I do.
Right.
So I have everything in order. I can tell you if I'm putting out more money the first 15 days of the month or the latter part of the month. If that's the case, you can call credit card companies. You can call FP&L and tell them, I need to change my due dates.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, what do they want? They want to get paid.
Yeah.
So if the 10th doesn't work for you, but the 17th work for you, guess what? They'll move it to the 17th.
Yep.
So these are a lot of little things that I know that I take for granted that I'm thinking, oh, everybody knows that. They know to pick up the phone. Like, I can't wait till Bobby goes to IRS.
God, we're going right in. We're going right in the cave, baby.
Empowered in everything. Empowered in everything.
Let me tell you something about IRS. They're not a government entity.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Wow. Yeah. I did not know that.
They're not a government entity.
Darren, did you know that?
Yeah.
They're a third-party contractor.
Wow. Okay.
Government don't print the money either.
They don't. Their goal is to collect money, so the more they collect, the more they get paid.
I also heard that the IRS started in the 70s. Like before that, there was that I knew, and it started because I guess because of the war or something like that, and they just decided to keep it.
But before that, they're making so much money.
Right. So wow,
and we weren't getting refunds then. They were just keeping it and doing whatever they wanted with it.
Darlene, before we go, what has been or who has been your biggest inspiration when it comes to wealth? Besides maybe mom but someone, perhaps maybe it was an aunt or an uncle or a friend or whatever, or maybe it was a book that just completely changed your life. But what is that one thing or maybe that one story that you can remember? It's like, you know what? I remember that pivotal point in my life. What was that for you?
There's 3 books, and then before I say my 3 books, my ex-husband. We would make money, and I would want to pay all of our bills. And he's like, you're going to be left with nothing. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't owe anybody. You know, that whole being raised in the church, you know, the borrower is slave to the lender. But it's like, what if an emergency arises? You have no money. So if you owe $500 and they're asking you for 30, send them 50, but keep the other 50 for yourself. So I learned that from him. That helped me with saving for contingency. I don't like to call emergency, because if you say emergency, emergencies will happen.
Yeah. Waiting for the rain. The rain's gonna come.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 3 books: The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yep.
I absolutely love that book. Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. I'm butchering
Got that one.
Profit First. That helped me a lot in my business, because I was treating my business like an employee. Remember, I told you employees, you earn $75,000, you pay the government first, and then whatever is left. But that's what I was doing in my business. Business was earned $300,000. I pay all the expenses, and then if there's anything left, I pay myself. So I flipped that. Profit First says no. You earn the $350. You pay profit first. You put it aside. You put aside for taxes, and then you take care of everything else.
Right.
So, Richest Man in Babylon, Profit First. And then you all know this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But I respected Rich Dad, Poor Dad more after I read this book by Barbara Concoran. She's a real estate guru from Shark Tank. When I read her book, I went back and reread Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I was like, oh my God. I read this years ago, and I had all these tools at my fingertips that I wasn't implementing. Because she was implementing those in her book.
You see, that's a good reminder that sometimes we may have a book idea, but the way in which we express it gives the person that aha moment, right?
Yes.
You have that repetition, that shift. That's beautiful. I want to ask you a question. If you have time, Rudy, for another question. This is so good.
Last one. Because otherwise I will keep her for the rest of the night. She knows it.
So while we have you here, so one of the things you talked about, first of all, is if you have a job, start a side hustle, because there's clearly a lot of tax benefits and implications as a result of that. So what if you do own a business, you work out of your home, and let's say you just did renovations at your house. I heard that you could actually write out some renovations. If let's say you have a dedicated room that you use specifically for your office, and let's say it's about 500, 600 square foot, but then your renovations for your house was about, maybe $60,000. So is that portion of that eligible for some sort of write-off?
Yes.
Let's say you live in Orlando and you're in this renovation.
So bad. You are so bad. So the formula is a flat 5%, or you do the square footage test. I like the square footage because it gives you more. So if it's 600 square foot, divided into your total house square footage, whatever that percentage is, you get to deduct the percentage of the renovation. Now, did the renovation include that room that you have designated? Okay, because it has to.
Yes, it did.
That room has to be a
You
part
can't
of
renovate the bathroom, but leave the.
Hypothetically, if a person did that, we're asking for a friend.
Yes,
that's a nice master bedroom over there, but
so you're saying the formula was take the square foot of the house, divide it by
take the square footage of the space you use,
of the space,
divide it into the total square footage of the house. That gives you a percentage.
Got you.
And then that percentage you deduct from the renovation. Remember, I told you guys when I worked from home, I loved it. I deducted water, light. Listen, from January to April, when clients were coming to my house, toilet paper, paper towel, bottled water.
Listen, I can see the ants coming in with the suitcase. Say, okay, you can deduct us too.
Well, if they came in, I don't allow anybody to live in my house for free. So if ants came in, I have to get an exterminator. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but I'm a marketer, so I'm thinking about like your business. I'm sure you have like a checklist of things that you give away to people that says, here are the categories of deductions potentially that you can offer. Do you have something like that in place that people can?
I will.
There you go.
That could be.
You know what? I actually do have a bunch of resources. They're just not positioned where I can give them away. So when I do a consult with a client, there's a whole checklist that I have. And so after being reamed by Rudy on several occasions, it's happening tomorrow. I'm having a meeting, official meeting, and it's happening tomorrow.
Very
She's
good.
even gonna create an Etsy page for me and a Pinterest. I'm like, oh Lord, somebody else has to manage all that stuff.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
But for now, I can give up a percentage of my services because a lot of people want to start a business. They don't know where to begin. So I did a Facebook Live last Wednesday and I gave tips on websites they can go to. So I'm not always looking to make money off my consultation because I'd rather give you resources. But if you need my help and you can't do it yourself, then you come my way. So SBA.gov has great resources. You go to SBA.gov and you search how to start a business. In fact, it's on their first page. As soon as you type SBA.gov, it's right there. And then every city you live in wants you to do business with them. So you Google how to do business with in the city of West Palm, in the city of Daytona Beach, whatever your city is, and they will have their 10 things or their 11 things of what you need to have in order to do business with them. But rule of thumb, you're in business to make money. So a lot of them want you to have a business plan and this and that. All that stuff is good if you're going to ask to borrow money from them.
Right.
So the tip that I gave on my Facebook Live was find 3 people to buy your service or buy your product. Of course, 2 of them might be family, but that one stranger or that one distant friend that buys from you gives you a sense of, ooh, there's a need for this.
Right. Right.
Make money.
Right.
Okay, while the overhead is down, and then start working on all these other stuff. Because a lot of time we're waiting for the website to be up. And I even told them, I was in business since 96. I didn't have a business card until probably 2006.
Wow.
500 individual tax clients. I had so many clients that I was doing bookkeeping for. Word of mouth, give good service. Treat your customers with the utmost respect. People used to say, treat others the way you want to be treated. Some people don't know how to be treated nicely. So I said,
Wow. Man, wow. Say that again.
Hey, where's the Jamaican horn? Where's the Jamaican horn? Boom, 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 boom. Say that again.
Some people do not know how to be treated nicely.
Mm.
Maybe they're from abusive home, neglectful home, whatever. So that's saying treat others the way you want to be treated. I don't use that. Treat others the way they deserve to be treated.
That's good.
Because if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't mind if somebody do you wrong, if you don't, you're going to portray that to that person.
Yeah.
Some of us do not know how to be treated nicely.
No. I'd like to just, we're unfortunately out of time. This usually happens to us, so maybe we'll learn a lesson and extend the show. Maybe.
Listen, I'm thinking that, man.
However, for the sake of respecting everybody's time, number one, could you go ahead and recap? So I'm gonna make sure we get it. I have mindset, I have know your numbers, and unfortunately, I didn't get number 3. So I want to make sure I hear exactly what number 3 was for the.
You got 2 and 3 actually. You're missing 1.
I'm missing 1. Okay, gotcha. All right. So what was
know your numbers?
No.
So know your numbers. I'm probably out of order.
Know your numbers was number 2.
Number 2. So mindset, I believe, was number 1.
I'm sorry. Mindset was number 2. Know your numbers was the last one that you said.
Okay. So what was
the first one? You talked about the W-2 needs to have a side hustle. That was the first. That was number 1.
Oh yes.
Okay,
Everybody needs to have a business.
Right.
Both of my kids had a business when they were young. I had my first business at 8 years old. You want to know what it was? I had a nice little coloring book, and I would just doodle. And somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, I want one of those." I said 5 cents. They gave me 5 cents.
Oh, stop playing!
I said, "Whoa!"
Hey, I did that in my building as a kid. I couldn't even draw. I traced my uncle's Bugs Bunny and cartoon characters. I just colored them. I put 25 cents. And knock on every door, started from the top door in the building down. I ran out at like the 15th floor.
Well, I had my whole school bus, kids at the bus stop. They were coming to me.
I should have known you as a kid. We would have expanded the business.
That would have been global right now.
Bobby, I ended up buying the 64 box crayon with the sharpener. I was
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That would have been global right now.
Yeah. We all have something of value to offer. Find out what the needs are out there. Everybody has needs. And I used to think, and I think I shared this with Rudy, I never registered to be a certified minority women-owned business with the city or the county, but I have clients do that. And so one time I had a client that needed my help. She's like, I'll pay you to come with me because my English is not that good. I don't want them to ask me questions I don't know, so forth. So I go there and I'm sitting with her. The lady's going through the checklist. She's like, everything we need is here. She's like, this is good. And so the client turns to me and said, thank you, Ms. Derline, for your help. So she looks at me. She's like, are you registered? I said, no. She's like, why not? I said, well, we provide accounting services. I figured the city, the county, they have their own in-house accounting and bookkeeping. She's like, the city and the government, they sub out everything. They contract everything. And I registered. I got a couple of contracts with them. Opened the door, floodgates of heaven. We asked for a blessing.
Wow.
By helping others, giving value.
I can't wait for the book. I can't wait for the course. I can't wait for the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Rudy, I see you.
Hey, listen, we leveling up over here. Derline, thank you so much for giving us, as expected, tremendous value. Where can people find you? Let everybody know where they can find you.
So on social media, we are at ESSI Consultants, all of the platforms. Facebook is under Economic Solution Services Inc. My phone number is 561-877-4662. Our office is located at 1375 Gateway Boulevard, Boynton Beach, Florida, 33426. But we can service the entire 50 states, actually 48 states of the United States.
Good. And then your email address we have is info@economicsolutionservices.com.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming in once again. Heart level to you. Heart level to
Thank
you.
you guys. Thank you
for coming in. Absolutely.
Thank you for inviting me in the men's cave.
You're welcome. We'll put you backstage. We'll be right with you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, fellas. Bobby, take it away.
Listen, what an exciting show. If you missed it, you got to go back. And we would like you to type in #replay if you're looking at it at a later date. We talked about tonight the 3 profit-driven strategies to win at the money game. Number 1 was that we have to have what, Rudy? What's number 1?
We have to have a side hustle, man. Have a side hustle.
Number 2, Darren, what you got for number 2?
Oh, man. Let me see.
Mike.
Wow, you caught me off guard. Listen, you have to have the right mindset, man. You gotta
have the right mindset. And most of all, man, you got to know your numbers. Know your numbers. Money is a lot of things. And tonight we heard that money is trade. Money is options. Money is the ability to help others. And Darian, most of all, said that, money is emotional. That's a big one, D. That's a big one. We need to have a huge conversation around that. Absolutely. But most of all, I want to share with you guys tonight the inspiration injection for tonight. And well, you know what? Did we say hello to Wayne Moody? I'm gonna say what's up to Wayne. Shout out to Wayne.
Shout out to Wayne in the building.
Shout out to Marie A. Jones in the building.
Jones. She said Derline was excellent. Thank you for tuning in, Marie. That's my coach. That's my coach right there. My coach,
Absolutely. And guys, don't forget, we have 2 special Sundays coming up. This Sunday's Mother's Day, so make sure you set some time aside. Do something special. Do something thoughtful. Most of all, do something meaningful. Following Sunday, we have Unleash Your Riches. Tonight's speaker talked about something very important around being around the right people with the right mindset. Darian talked about it at the beginning of the show where we talked about accountability. And I'm telling you, there's nothing better. I gave you guys a story earlier about how bad things got during the last recession for me. But what I can tell you about this is that going forward, the one thing I got that I didn't have last time around was I didn't have a community. And so I want to give a shout out to Confidence Factor, all Unleash Your Riches men who've participated in the past, those who are participating this upcoming 21st, and those that are going to participate in the future. And I think it's mutual. Listen, we need you as much as you need us. We need that accountability. We need that mastermind. We all have something that we can trade. And we know trade is what? Money. Darren said earlier, right? Trade is money. Money is the ability to trade. So we can trade those things. So we appreciate you guys. As Rudy said earlier, if something was said that resonates with you, that spoke to your heart, that you want to give that heart level, make sure you put it in the comments. Reach out to us so you can join our Unleash Your Riches Mastermind. But most importantly, we want to talk about the 2 different mindsets, because we can pick any way we want to think. Tonight's inspiration injection comes from none other than T. Harv Eker, which says, riches people play the money game to win, and poor people play the money game not to lose. We appreciate you guys. This is CF Talks, where we have heart level conversations that leads to transformation. We hope tonight that you will transform, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday. And remember, in everything that you do, make sure you keep it
heart level.
Heart level.
Man.
See you guys next week.